Hi guys, Danny here, and welcome to my review of High Pressure Tanks by Patrick96. Now, this is a new mod, and when I say new mod, I don't mean, released in the past couple of months. Now, this was released a week ago, and it's another tech mod, so I had to cover it. Now, he hasn't added a lot of things. Like the name implies, there is a tank system. It's pretty awesome, but there are some machines as well, but I know for a fact that he's planning to add a lot more machines, and I see a lot of potential with this mod. A lot of potential. So, I had to cover it. So, yeah, let me get started right away. We'll start with the ore gen. This mod adds 3 new ores. Bauxite ore, which is used to make aluminium, or aluminum, depends on how you want to pronounce it. Copper ore, and graphite ore. So, like I said, aluminum, copper, and graphite. If you break the graphite ore, you'll get yourself a graphite item, and you can use it to smelt 16 items. Now, he does say that he plans to add more uses to graphite, and I'm very excited to see what he adds. And yeah, let me go straight ahead to the tank system. Now, the tank system, if you played around with, there is another mod that adds a multi-block tank system. It works kind of like that, and it's kind of unique as well. Number one, you need energy to pressurize the liquid. If I right click, you can see that it accepts either EU or MJs. EU is worth 2 energy. He hasn't implemented an energy system yet, so he's just using energy. 1 EU is 2 energy, and 1 MJ is 5 energy. If you're filling the tank, it takes 0.01 energy, which equates to 0.00 MJs or 0.005 EUs. You can use either that you want. Now, the items are just here. To create the tanks, let me show you guys. You need a couple of things. First of all, you need a high pressure tank casing and a high pressure tank glass. If I click right here, you see you just need a couple of items. Simple circuit board, reinforced bars, lapis, reinforced bars made with obsidian, bars, and actually, as you can see here, these are the obsidian bars. The obsidian bars are blast proof, so if you're protecting your base, instead of using iron bars, you can use these and you can protect them against creepers. And there are a couple of ways to create what you need. Where is it? There you go. For example, you need a copper wire, and you can just make that by hand. You just need to use up a couple of copper ingots, some wool to give you 3 copper wire. And for the other thing, which would be, if I would remember what it is, I'll just show you guys. Like I said, you can either make it by hand, or you can use this resin extractor. The resin extractor can take away resin from any wood that you can imagine you can get resin from. At the moment, you can use it from the vanilla spruce wood, and all of the machines have the same amount of energy as the tanks, so 50,000 of the energy units, which would equate to 25,000 EUs or 10,000 MJs. And you can see that it's using the power to remove the resin from the spruce wood, and it's been added just there. You can also extract resin from rubber trees added by various mods, for example IC2. And then all you need to do is pump the resin into this other machine here, the wire mill. All you need to do is throw in a copper. Let me just get a copper. Okay, here we go. I just take the copper, throw it there. And now to make the wires, you also require some resin. So all I need to do is take one of these flue ducts, that, boom. Now the resin fills up, and you can see that the copper ingots slowly being converted, or rather turned into the wires. And we'll see in a second that it uses up the resin to create a good amount of wires. There you go. Now, like I said, you can also do this by hand, like that, or you can use this method to produce wire rather quickly. The wire mill uses 20 energy along with 4 buckets of resin to produce the 16 copper wire. Yeah, you also need the copper ingots, obviously. And then you can use the copper wires to create the different circuit boards like that, and the circuit boards and things are required to make the tank casing at the moment. They'll also be used to create the various machinery later on. If I have the resin extractor, you can see from the recipe here, you need a machine block, which also requires a simple circuit board, a couple of energy cores, bulletproof glass. Now, like the obsidian bars, you can use the bulletproof glass as a defense because it's also blast resistant, so it's pretty handy, and you can see through it. Bulletproof glass. And as you can see, connected textures, which is always really awesome. But more importantly, the bulletproof glass is used to make the high pressure tank glass, which is required, once again, to make the tanks. Now, like I said before, the tanks are a multi-block structure, as you can see here. And the way you build it is like you build a normal tank from a multi-block structure. So what you need to do is create a frame using these machine tank casings like that. The tanks can range anywhere from 3x3x3 blocks, which would be 32 buckets of storage, to 15x15x15, which would have just over 70,000 buckets of storage. So like I said, a frame of these tank casings to a 3x3x3 structure, just like that. Boom, and like that. And then all you need to do is you can use the tank glasses, or you can also use these tank valves. The tank valves obviously are used to remove or add liquids into the tank. So let me just add a tank glass there, tank glass there, tank glass there, and on this side I'll add a valve. Now the thing about the valves is it can only remove liquid if it's touching the the air block where the liquid is being stored. So if you have a valve and it's a big structure and you have the valve at the top and you only have a small amount of liquid and it's all at the bottom, the valve won't be able to remove the liquid. Alternatively, you don't need to make it in a 3x3x3 or 15x15x15. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. You can also do it in any shape you want. So for example, I could do 2, 3. I don't even know what shape this is. I'm just going by random. I hope this doesn't turn out to be a perfect square. Is it a perfect square? Okay, it is a perfect square. Just like that. There you go. It's not a perfect square anymore, so it can be any higher than 3. Let me do just that. Like that. And one more for good luck. Like that. And that. And like I said, put in either these tank glasses or the tank valves. Obviously, if you don't want to be removing the liquid from the tank, it's better off using the tank glass. Like that. Now, I actually quite enjoyed this mod. I know there are multi-block tanks in other mods, but like I said, they're in other mods, and to get it, I'd have to download the whole mod. And I was actually thinking of downloading a mod that would give me a tank system, because I want a easy way to store all my fluids. But I didn't want to download a whole mod, so I was wondering what to do. And then I found this mod, so I'm very happy about that. There we go. Just like that. And there you go. this can also be a viable tank structure. Now, a couple of things. You can't store liquid in it just yet. What you need to do is get yourself one of these tank controllers, as you can see there. Okay, not that one. That one is used, and I'll explain what that means in a second. Tank controllers, there you go. Again, made with the same kind of items. You'll also need to make yourself a wrench, just like that. The wrench is used to, well, I'll show you guys in a second. And then what you need to do is put one of these tank controls. As you can see, it's not assigned to any location, and put it there like that. And when you shift right click the tank control, you can see in my right hand corner it says multi-block formed, 6x5x5 capacity, 1152 buckets. And there you go. The tank was made. Now alternatively, I could also break one of these guys, and you can see that the multi-block structure deformed, so now it's just a couple of blocks. It's not a tank anymore. And I'll just throw in my tank valve like that. Shift right click again, and boom. You guys probably noticed that when the tank was formed, the glass had connected textures again. And now I can just remove or add fluids into the tank. A small note, like I said before, the tank requires energy to pump in liquids. However, if you were to use buckets, you wouldn't have to waste any energy. For example, this tank has no power, as you can see here, but I can just put in liquid like that, just that easily. And there you have it. And I can also remove the liquids using a bucket. So if you had a bucket of liquid, you wouldn't need to have any power inside of it. And there you go. Alternatively, you could also do it that way. It's your choice completely. Now the thing about the tank controls is that it controls what's in the tank. What I mean by that is, if I go to survival, okay, I can use a pick to remove the tank control. So, like that, you can see that it's not a multi-block structure anymore. The textures are not connected. And if I look at where it is, where is it? There you go. You can see the tank control has recorded how much water, energy, and dimensions, coordinates of its tank. If I was to put it down into, where is it? Another block, say this one actually. This one isn't a tank yet. Let me just destroy this and try to put this in there. That's the one, yeah. Like that. And if I try to shift right click, it tells me that it already contains fluid data and it's not in its original spot. Now if I was to shift right click this again, it would remove all data recorded in the tank control, and I would be able to form a tank here. So let me do just that. Tank constructed incorrectly, so what am I not doing right? Do I not have a 3x3x3? I do. What do I not have? Ah, there you go. So all I need to do, okay, I'll show you guys something else. If I do it incorrectly, well, you know what happens next. It tells me that it's not done correctly. And also, where is the pressure thing? If I was to add blocks to the multi-structure, that's not going to be a part of the tank, just like that. Everything else is correct, and I try to shift right click. It tells me that it's not constructed correctly. So if I destroy that, there you go, multi-block formed, and the tank can be used again. And now the water that was stored inside of the tank control is lost. So yeah, if you're going to be moving the tank controls, you have to move it back into its original spot, or you lose all the data inside of it. Now another note. As you can see, I'm just using an aqueous accumulator from thermal expansion to pump the water inside of this tank, but if I right click, you can see that the amount of water is not increasing. Everything else is the same. This is a multi-block structure, so you know it has the interface, it has a full power, but it's still not going in. Why? That's because there is a function. There you go. You can see that the valve is surrounded by this orange square. The orange square means it's in auto output mode. That means it won't be accepting liquids. So if I shift right click, now it's just in the input mode. So if I do that, we can see that it fills up, and you can see that it is using a very small amount of power. So it is completely viable. There you go. You don't need to supply it with an insane amount of power, just a very small amount, and it'll be just fine. There you go. And it's kind of balanced as well, because it's using the power to pressurize the liquid inside of its small space. And there you have it. And again, you can use buckets to remove and add fluids inside of the tanks without using up energy. So if I just do that, there you go. More energy wasn't used. So yeah, that's it for this video. I like this mod. It's really nice, and I see a lot of potential, and I can see it getting really popular. So I might include this in my Let's Play. All the links are in the descriptions. And if you like the video, please leave a like or subscribe for more Minecraft videos. Thanks for watching, guys.